Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to... I blinked. I was trying not to blink during that intro.
It's hard not to blink, man.
Yeah. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, notify bell next to it. Make sure you're always leaving us a rating, review, and a comment. Every day, leave us a comment on the audio version of the podcast. Always rate us. Judge us, please. And then, of course, we're also available on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Starting from $1, we've got a bunch of reward tiers there. So you can give us $1 and you get a shout out on the show. You get the show ad-free. $5, you get a bunch of bonus episodes. And at $20, you get to have your video question right here on Matt Chat, because it's Sunday. It's Matt Chat Show. Today is also Fastlane Day. So we're going to have a live stream reaction to that starting for the kickoff show.
Correct.
Probably around 30 minutes in the kickoff show, because that's sometimes they do the match towards the end of the kickoff.
Yeah,
show.
Usually we'll say 3:30.
Yeah. So that's all good stuff. Fastlane should be a lot of fun. But there's also been a bit of news this past week.
Quite a bit of news.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa's injury, so we got some questions about that.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, new U.S. champion, how it'll affect WrestleMania.
Got some questions about that. And, of course, Roman Reigns is back full-time with the company. He's going to be participating in a Shield match tonight at Fastlane. And there's questions about Roman Reigns. So, first up, we've got new Matt Chatter, Lindsay. Let's see what she has to say about Roman Reigns.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Larson. Lindsay here. My Matt Chat question for you this week is Money in the Bank is actually coming to Hartford, which isn't too far from where I live. So I'll be buying tickets for that Friday. But my question to you is, with Roman Reigns thinking of maybe even trying to do a comeback, do you think he could actually win Money in the Bank? And if he does, do you think that would actually start a feud with Seth Rollins if he won the title?
Thank you, Lindsay.
Hey, and welcome to Matt Chat.
Welcome to Matt Chat.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you always go first in the first question. That's how we do it.
So, Roman Reigns has already said in his promos he is not going after titles. He is looking to use his platform to inspire and give hope to those who need it. And although one way to accomplish that would be winning titles, I kind of feel like, at least for a year, they need to keep that man title free. Just have him, I don't know, maybe do a new Lex Express for Roman Reigns where he goes to different malls around the country talking about hope and inspiration and his story about giving a Superman punch to cancer. Maybe do that with him. Maybe have him body slam Yokozuna on the USS Enterprise. Maybe have him come up with a gimmick where he's a big narcissist and he comes out at WrestleMania 9 to fight Mr. Perfect.
All right. You have no idea where you're going with any of this.
A bunch of, and he's a total package.
No idea
also,
where you're going with any of this.
I'm just booking Lex Luger.
You have no idea where you're going with any of this.
So no titles for him.
Yeah.
No Money in the Bank, no titles. No.
Yeah, man, that'd be great.
No, it wouldn't be great.
Money in the Bank's in May. That's right after Mania. Just because you win Money in the Bank in May doesn't mean you have to cash in immediately. You have a whole year to do it. So the storyline possibilities of Roman carrying that briefcase are immense and really interesting, given Seth and Roman's relationship. Brothers. Just this last week on Raw, Seth thought Roman was trying to maybe start a conversation about getting in on his Universal title match at Mania. What's the ultimate culmination of Roman's story, at least as it pertains to wrestling? Getting back on top.
He can wrestle again. Nobody wants to see him in that same spot that he was in before. Nobody wants to see that. And I don't think Vince McMahon wants to play with that anyways.
I don't think it's true to say that nobody wants to see it.
Roman has fans. Did you hear the apprehension in that crowd?
Oh, I did. But at the same time, Roman has, even before he had to take his leave, there was fans that cheered him being champion. And I think if the circumstances were right, if the story played out in an interesting way, then I think people would be on board with it.
A year from now, yes. Money in the Bank is totally too soon.
No, it's not, because he can carry that Money in the Bank briefcase till March of next year.
People will always be thinking to themselves, oh, man, we're going to get Roman shoved down our throats again. That's how it would be. They need to wait a year, and he needs to naturally get into it. He can't start winning big matches like that with title implications.
Nah, man.
Until Seth Rollins has had a long run. Dude, at this point,
put that briefcase on him.
Because of Roman's illness and because how he put over Seth in that little speech, People want Seth to be the face of Raw, and Roman would be a threat to that.
Then
They're not going to turn on Seth for Roman.
Money in the Bank, and he goes to SmackDown.
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah, that's.
And also, Lindsay didn't
Nobody
say.
goes
I don't
to
think Lindsay
SmackDown.
mentioned what year Money in the Bank. It could be 2020.
Okay, sorry, Lindsay, if you meant 2020.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think. No, I don't think she mentioned what year. Did it have to be 20? Money in the Bank
Steve's
this
all on
year?
board with that.
Or could it be 2020? 2020, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
if they can find a way to do it right long term, he could win this year and be totally fine.
Nope.
Yeah.
Wrong. Incorrect.
Right.
Incorrect.
Next, Joshua Martinez. Some great camera work again. He's just sitting in his car, and that camera on his
What
phone
is
looks
with
great.
that camera right there?
It's a 1+, I think he said.
Oh my God, I don't even know what that means. 2+, 3+, 4+.
It's kind of phone, man.
I know what math is, man. State of California.
No, all right, but you're just geography you're talking about there. It's a model of phone, man.
Joshua Martinez is a great looking Matt Chat question.
Hey, friendos. So with Tommaso Ciampa being out with injury, it seems like we're not getting Gargano versus Ciampa at TakeOver and have that blow off for that big feud. So what do you guys think? How do you guys think this will affect Johnny Gargano? It seemed like they were going to get the Aleister Black Ricochet treatment, where they get kind of like a soft launch into the main event roster. But I don't know, do you think this means Johnny Gargano has to be held back in NXT for a little while, or do you think he himself can go on to main? I'll be interested to know what you guys think. Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, Joshua Martinez.
Thank you. I go first on this one.
Big question, Larson.
Johnny Gargano is definitely going to benefit most from injury. So if the initial report is true, actually no, I think it was Meltzer. Maybe it was Meltzer. I guess the plan was for Ciampa to take some time off after TakeOver anyways, to rest his injury. And so if the match seemingly, it's hard to get into this too much without potential spoiler territory. Anyways, if the match apparently that was going to happen at TakeOver was to happen, and then Ciampa was scheduled to take time off after that match, that would mean that his opponent would win that match and therefore win the title. You can connect those dots how you will.
Yeah, there's no connecting the dots. You basically just laid out the spoilers there. So good
I
job.
didn't use names though, except for Tommaso Ciampa.
Y'all can put it together, man.
Yeah, I know. So Johnny Gargano is going to be champion. That's probably what it's going to be. That's probably what it's going to be.
So yeah, I have no reason to disagree with that.
But I guess the real question is now, I mean, this Wednesday we're shooting this. WWE officially announced that Ciampa's having surgery on Thursday, or had surgery on Thursday. So I don't know if they're going to start the ball, because I already taped a bunch of Dusty Classic matches, a couple of which involved DIY, I think, at least one. So how that's going to affect things. Obviously, they can't address his injury kayfabe until that stuff plays out.
I don't know.
think.
They did on Twitter already. NXT,
No, I know.
WWE
I know.
NXT
I know.
in particular did.
They both did. WWE and NXT
So
did.
I don't know. It'd be kind of like usually when they tweet something out, yeah.
I mean, they tweeted out that Dean Ambrose is leaving the company.
Yeah, but then they're not going to do that for people leaving the company.
So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect it kayfabe-wise. Anyways, there needs to be, the title will definitely be vacated. And then so they need to set up hastily a new title match.
I think we're going to get Gargano's new champion, and then we're going to get launched right into the Adam Cole Undisputed Era thing. Why do I say that? Simply because I saw one little slice of video that showed Candice LeRae hopping on Adam Cole's shoulders and giving him a reverse Rana. It was beautiful. I hope, and it's totally awful for Ciampa. I really hate it. However, if the plan was to call him up anyways after TakeOver, listen, here's what I want. Here's what I need. Candice LeRae wrestling again. Maybe with Gargano out of this storyline with Ciampa, where all Candice LeRae seems to do is nag him, we can get back to her doing what she does better than maybe anybody on the planet, and that is being a pro wrestler.
Yeah, she's really good.
That would be great.
That would be great.
So, yeah, that's really what I want to see.
All right.
Speaking of the Undisputed Era, Christopher Abersad has a question about the NXT title.
Hello, Stephen Larson. So, Tommaso Ciampa might be injured, so who should replace him to face Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship? Or what should they do with the NXT Championship belt? What kind of match should they have? How should they book it? And who should go over the win? You guys figure this out. This is very a tough task.
Thank you, Christopher Rampersad.
Thank you, Christopher.
You go first.
Well, like I said, it's the Undisputed Era. I think so. You're probably right. Gargano's probably going to win that title. That being said, Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. If it's gonna be Gargano at Takeover. Who's he gonna fight? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do, Larson?
I don't know what they're gonna do.
Tournament.
I mean, that'd be cool. But then they just have so much already in the can, and I don't believe they can.
Did you remember if Adam Cole has something?
I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't recall.
I don't
recall.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and say the Undisputed Era. They have said it's their mission statement. Didn't somebody mention? Oh yeah, Christian later on has a question about this. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. It's their mission statement to have all the titles. Roderick Strong is now a singles gold guy. If you do the math on that, that means Adam Cole is now an NXT title contender. And so long term, I think we're going to see that with the Undisputed Era. Short term, we might have Johnny Gargano. Wouldn't it be something if Johnny Gargano won the title at TakeOver and the very next NXT he dropped that title? What if that's his thing? Because he only had that North American title for like a week or 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, but he didn't successfully defend it.
He had
once,
no title defenses. His next title defense, he lost it.
Yeah.
So I think long term it's going to be Undisputed Era. Short term, I guess probably going to be Gargano.
Yeah, it's going to be Gargano. And I guess the interesting thing will be is how they wrap his probable win into the ongoing story as it's been going, And I don't know if there's anything they've shot or can shoot quick like to kind of transition or wrap up that particular part of the storyline. If I remember correctly, there might be potential for something there. Could be wrong. So that's for me that's gonna be the really interesting thing is how they transition from what they may have had planned to what they have to do, and then who is actually going to be battling for the title at a TakeOver.
I mean, I think I kind of remember spoiler wise what and there obviously needed to be one little bit of filler there for the TakeOver match to be set, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be anticlimactic. They're not going to be able to write something that's fulfilling with Ciampa to get to a match with Johnny Gargano at TakeOver with anybody else. All they're going to be able to do, I think, at this point is have Regal show up on the go home and say, unfortunately, Tommaso Ciampa will be required to have surgery. Therefore, I'm vacating the title. And at TakeOver, the number one the participants in a
fatal four-way
or something. Yeah. Exactly.
You have Gargano, Adam Cole. I don't know if Matt Riddle has anything planned for TakeOver, but unless he's going to win that match, you don't want him in it.
Who's
Keith Lee?
Who's Matt Riddle?
Top notch.
Who did Matt Riddle fight last?
He had that feud with Ono.
Right.
Who do you have a match against?
They had the sit-down interview thing with him.
Yeah.
And then I don't think they had a match that was of like in terms of...
No.
Didn't they? It was a submission. It was Gulak.
Yeah, that was good. That was a really good match.
That was a really good match, but there's nothing there, so he can be in a match.
Yeah, I just said unless he's going to win it, I'd be surprised if they put him in it, Let's say he wouldn't win it.
Don't have him pin or tap out. No, I think it's probably too early for him, but he's a heck of a name to put there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pete Dunne. Bring Pete Dunne in. He's always good for
good
that.
I think Pete Dunne would be good.
Yeah, so Pete Dunne, Adam Cole, Gargano.
No, but he might already be doing something.
Really? That's wow. Okay, I'll shut up then. Anyways, moving on here. Ryan Rugani has a question about our friendo Samoa Joe winning that U.S. title. Let's see what he has to say.
Morning, friendos. My question this week is, with the awesomeness that Samoa Joe won, even though I would have rather had Andrade win it, Joe was an awesome surprise. Do you think this is going to lead to a John Cena taking an open challenge from him at WrestleMania and putting him over? I hope so.
Thank you, Ryan Rugani.
Thank you, Ryan Rugani.
Joe versus Cena at Mania, hell yeah. Joe comes out, drops a promo saying, U.S. Open Challenge, we'll do it for Mania. He doesn't seem like the type of guy that want to do the U.S. Open Challenge. But he'd say for Mania, I'll do it. Cena comes out. We have like 10 minutes of back and forth promo. They're going to get, like weeks and weeks of build accomplished in 10 minutes. And they're going to have a 15-minute classic at Mania. Joe wins via coquina clutch. Cena passes out. And Joe successfully retains. There's just so much backstory between the two of them. They were back in WWE Developmental way back in the early aughts in Southern California, I believe. There's a lot to pull from. I don't know if they're friends, but I think they're acquaintances at the least. So that'd be pretty neat if it were to happen. Yes, all the yes.
How about you have them co-host the show instead? Can we just do that?
Terrible idea.
Are you kidding me?
You already got Michael Che and Colin Jost
They're
as special correspondents.
You ditch them.
We can't do that. They already announced it.
How about Cena?
Unless Joe goes and chokes him out.
Host, yes. And then him and Cena hook up and host the show together.
I'd rather have 10-minute promo off and a match.
Hosting. It's all about hosting these days, man.
Joe needs a Mania match. He hasn't had a Mania match since he signed with the company.
Gee whiz. What is their problem? Yeah, of course. Of course it's Joe Cena.
He was hurt one year, wasn't he?
Of course it's Joe Cena. Give me a break now. Enforcer Stevie Bradley's next. He's got a question about another big man in the WWE. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Steven Larson and all the friendos. It's the Enforcer here with the Matt Chat question. And I want to talk about a fellow big man. I want to talk about Braun Strowman. He has fallen off a cliff lately. This man, the summer of 2018, was positioned to get that belt as Money in the Bank winner, and it just seemed to not happen. He was positioned as Plan B. Roman gets his leukemia and is out, yet they still pass him up. They'd rather put it on Brock. Now you got Seth as #1 contender. You got Roman now back. You got Drew McIntyre. You got Bobby Lashley. I don't see where Braun fits into the championship scene, and it's pretty sad because about a year ago, he was red hot, and now lukewarm at best. So let me know, is there a way that we can position Braun Strowman to get a title run? And if not, then where does he fall in the company? Does he just become a big show where he's just flip-flopping all the time and all the mystique is gone? Because I really hope not. All right, guys, let me know. Too sweet and a hearty handshake.
Thank you, Enforcer.
Thank you, Enforcer. I go first. No, man, I'm sorry. Maybe Steve. I think Stevie Bradley might be a Braun fan. I can't tell. No,
he's definitely a hockey fan. His collection of jerseys is impressive, to say the
buried
least.
in a hole. He is buried. Buried. I do kind of wonder what the story is there. We had heard at one point that Braun might have had some attitude issues. Not exactly locker room leader material. Maybe it'll take him more time to get in that position. Maybe he's like a Tracy McGrady who will never be a locker room leader, even though he could be potentially one of the best people on the roster. Maybe he's just not suited for that. I kind of feel like we already have a Braun Strowman Colin Jost feud happening at WrestleMania. So no, he's done. And it all sort of started last year with WrestleMania when he won the tag titles with a 10-year-old child. That was stupid. It was really bad. Really bad. Right? Really bad.
Yeah, well,
really bad.
I wasn't into it, no.
So, yes, he was supposed to be the plan B at some point. But if you look at just how deep the roster is, there are a million different plan Bs they could roll with. Seth Rollins is what they've rolled with, and honestly, he should have been plan A in the first place. Finn Balor, I mean, if Dean sticks around, he's a plan B. There's a million other people besides Braun Strowman.
Still have Roman Reigns there, too.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns back to being plan B, probably plan A. Who knows? There's just too much. There's too much good talent. I'm telling you, man, I get the feeling that Braun might be the Shaq of WWE. Or, I mean, just a New Day Big Show who sort of just relied on the fact that he was a big, giant, special attraction type guy as opposed to needing to be a shark and really going after Vince McMahon's imaginary brass ring. I think he might be in that position. I don't know. I see a guy like Drew McIntyre who seems to be just hungry for that brass ring. Every time he comes out there, he chews up the scenery. That dude's probably a locker room guy too. There's too many good names. There's too many guys that are willing to go the extra mile.
Yeah, but Vince likes
I don't
his beef.
think Braun has been doing that.
Vince likes his beef.
Well, we saw that with the Big Show too, and how'd that work out?
Yeah, but Braun is at this point far more athletic than the Big Show was shortly after he debuted in WWE.
I'm sorry, Braun is more athletic. Have you seen him run?
Yeah, but he still runs.
It's like this.
Yeah, I know. But like after
Can't bend his knees.
98 or 99, that's kind of how the Big Show ran too. He wasn't doing top rope drop kicks like he was in 96.
That dude did not even run.
Yeah, no. He was too busy smoking cigarettes. Here's the thing. Braun still gets a good reaction from the crowd. Was it like it used to be? No. He's still on TV in fairly prominent roles. You get him back and you do what got him over in the first place? Destroying things. Set him on the path of destruction in a decent feud like the one he had against Roman, which is what really catapulted him into the next level. And he can be right back to being main event material very easily. People like Braun. They like to see him destroy things. They like to see him shoulder tackle people ringside. And if he just takes one interesting feud where he can destroy a lot of stuff, and he can be just as over as he was, and he could be Universal Champion material real quick. Real quick.
They need to be careful because people are going to stop giving a crap real soon. Real soon.
This may be very telling if he has a nothing match.
Oh, dude.
If he's in the Andre Battle Royal or something like that.
He's going to be feuding with Colin Jost.
Probably.
That's
There's at least
a
backstage segment with that. And if that's the level of his involvement at Mania, then that's telling that they don't think
I mean, given that they seem to keep on doing this Baron stuff, maybe he'll have a final big blow-off with Baron.
No, I thought Roman was supposed to have a match against Baron because of the house show.
Yeah, it'll probably be Dean. Dean's going to turn him at Fastlane tonight.
Maybe.
Even though I said no, and the prediction's literally 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. Next, from the Hall of Famer, Christian!
Hey, Steve. Hey, Larson. It is the Hall of Famer Christian here with the Matt Chat question. My question for you guys this week is regarding NXT's titular tag team. Try to say that 5 times fast. The Undisputed Era. My question regarding these guys is, taking into account Ciampa's injury and all the other factors of how all of the men's divisions are looking at NXT, is it a good thing for NXT if sometime in 2019 every member of the era is holding a title? Like Adam Cole said in his mission statement, NXT North American the tag belts. Would that be good for NXT, or would too many other talents be missing out? Too sweet a hearty handshake. Thanks.
Thank you, Christian! Yeah, sure, why not? Give him all the belts. At some point, 2018. I'm kind of curious to see where the story leads, where Adam Cole says, this is our manifesto for 2019, all the titles draped in gold, and then they just continue to lose and lose and lose. They have to rediscover themselves, what really makes them undisputed.
Here's what they have to figure out. They say, what has changed since we had a lot of gold?
Oh, you're trying to say they need to kick Bobby Fish out.
And now we don't have a lot of gold? Oh, I seem to recall we didn't used to have this old-timey guy with us.
You know, it could be a situation. Maybe they won't.
You're farting up the wrong tree, Velveeta Dream.
Explicitly state this. But how many times has there been like a basketball team? I can think of one time that's happened to Sacramento Kings where star player gets hurt. In this case, Chris Webber in the playoffs. Misses an extended period of time, comes back, and the team has a problem.
Mm-hmm. Chemistry gets disrupted.
Exactly.
They were like a 60-win team.
They had the most wins in the NBA.
Yeah.
And they got bounced in the playoffs prematurely.
Yeah.
It could be a situation like that where Bobby Fish comes back at a point where Undisputed Era was kind of firing on all cylinders, and through no fault of his own, mind you, disrupts the chemistry that was there, and so they have to redevelop this chemistry to find a new chemistry with all 4 members.
Yeah, and then they kick him out.
I don't think it necessitates kicking him out. I mean, Redragon is a highly decorated tag team, man. They're really good.
What have you done for me lately, Redragon?
Velveeta Dream, that's what he's done lately.
You're farting up the wrong tree.
I mean, that's pretty funny. You're farting up the wrong tree.
I love Bobby Fish.
Yeah, I think he's great.
Nah, man, they got to get their mojo back. Here's the thing. I like War Machine. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
They are not even close to being as over as Undisputed Era.
Very few people
Get those titles off them big dudes. Back on Redragon. Roderick Strong takes out the Velveeta Dream North American title. Adam Cole.
Bebe.
And then the next takeover is called Takeover in Your House. Undisputed Era. Remember how they used to name?
Yeah. You know, I recall. Speaking of Adam Cole, Thayer Thabata has a question about him and a friend of his.
Thayer Thabata.
Take it away, Thayer Thabata.
Thayer Thabata.
You can only have one of these guys in your company, Kevin Owens or Adam Cole. By the way, Undisputed Era is not included with Adam Cole, nor is Undisputed Era in your company. You can only just have Adam Cole or Kevin Owens.
Thank you, Thayer Thabata.
Thank you, Thayer Thabata. You go first.
Okay. Look, here's the thing. You go with the proven thing. Kevin Owens, Universal Champion, NXT Champion, Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion, Face of America Champion, SmackDown Live dropping stunners on people, new face. He's in great shape, new tattoos. Kevin Owens, Ring of Honor Champion, PWG Champion everywhere. That's who you go with. Kevin Owens, that's your man. That's your answer. Nobody can.
If I can only have one to build a promotion looking Forward, I'm going to go with the younger competitor who has a ton more upside, who doesn't have a major injury history, and that man in this case is Adam Cole. He's younger. He's 5 years younger. Kevin Owens is coming off double knee surgery. I don't know if Adam Cole's even had a knee surgery, much less two at one time.
I don't
know. He's great on the mic, really good wrestler, good storyteller, and even at this age, 29, it still feels like sky's the limit for him. The sky is the absolute limit for Adam Cole. He's a 3-time Ring of Honor champion, first NXT North America champion, highly decorated athlete in his own right.
Longest reigning PWG champion?
At least at one time, yeah. Yeah, one time I think so.
Did somebody eclipse that since then?
I don't know. I don't know
either. Anyways.
But Adam Cole would be my answer.
There's no bad answer there.
No. I just think you go with a guy that's younger. And,
how about this?
And hasn't had the injury history.
So you're not allowed to bring Undisputed Era with him.
Yeah.
But he comes in, brings Mike Kanellis up from 205 Live.
Yes.
And then they sign Matt Taven and they reform the Kingdom. I can't find any promos online with all those guys together at one time. Maybe I just haven't looked hard enough. Or maybe Ring of Honor is really stingy with their promos getting out.
Well, Zack Sabre Jr. had that belt for 538 days. Adam Cole had that title. He's still the longest reigning champion.
That's the long, long time.
And that was from December 2012 to May 2014. Lost it to Kyle O'Reilly.
Who then lost it to Roderick Strong.
That's funny. Who then lost it to Zack Sabre Jr., who had it for 489 days. And who did Adam Cole beat for it? One Kevin Steen.
There you go.
Who beat El Generico, who beat Kevin Steen.
Well, there you go. Ooh.
Interesting. Fascinating. Interesting stuff. Real interesting. Really interesting.
You know who's really interesting? Guion Halili. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey there, friendos. This is Jacksonville's number one Matt Chatter, Guion. And it's a chilly day here in Jacksonville, Florida. So I got my green tea and I'm sneaking off here at work. Anyways, my question for this week is, what was WWE's best use of the expectation swerve? Like on Monday, everybody thought, oh no, well at least I thought, oh no, Roman Reigns is going to be back in the Universal title picture and he's going to take Seth Rollins' spot. Because I'm a mark, and I'm a smart, I guess. But what was WWE's best use of that? Let me know your thoughts, and stay warm. Larson, it's gusty today, so you probably hate it. This has been Jacksonville's number one. Peace out, guys.
Thank you, Jacksonville's
number one.
Thank you, Guion. Your answer's probably the right answer, because when you said it, I said, darn, great answer. But I'll go with this, because we were there for that. It's one of my favorite wrestling moments ever. WrestleMania 31 main event. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. It was at the point where people were kind of getting tired of Brock. Definitely the point where people were booing Roman Reigns a lot. And it felt like a no-win scenario. Brock retains, which we thought was like 2% botch area. More of the same, kind of boring. If Roman wins, it's the guy that's been shoved down her throat for the better part of the year. So we were like, man, this stinks.
I was walking on the concourse. I was like going for merch during the beginning of this match.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't decide to sit the entire thing out.
Yeah, that'd have been foolish.
Yeah.
Idiot. And never did it ever once cross my mind that there was a way out of that scenario. In fact, there was. It was Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank at that point. Before this, no person ever tried to cash in at WrestleMania, much less the main event of WrestleMania.
And he had a match earlier.
And he lost to Randall Orton.
A great match.
It was a good match. So when his music hits, he comes sprinting down the ramp. I thought, this is our way out. This is how we can get out of this no-win scenario. There's a win here, and that's Seth Rollins as champ. Of course, he ultimately won that match, became WWE champion, and a great moment to close WrestleMania. Swinging that belt around, fireworks going off everywhere. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we marked out pretty hard for that.
Yes, but your answer is probably the right answer.
Well, I mean, the great thing is that the nature of the question, when did our expectations get swerved? Mark Henry came out one night on probably Raw.
Yeah, in a salmon jacket.
An amazing salmon-colored jacket. And he started delivering a very heartfelt, just fantastic retirement speech. And then John Cena came down to sort of, give him the ultimate, hey, great job, I'm John Cena, I'm passing the torch to your retirement now. And then Mark Henry swerved the crap out of everybody.
He drops him with the world's strongest slam.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was great.
And then he went on to have a nice little run there.
Man, that was so good.
So yeah, it was just probably the best Mark Henry moment there ever was, because he's the greatest.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Next, Richard Morris is concerned about a certain Intercontinental Champion. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Stephen Larson, Richard Morris here with another Matt Chat question. What are they doing with Finn Balor? He's not on the Fastlane pay-per-view. They put Bobby Lashley in this weird Shield match when it should be Elias, when he has beef with Dean. I don't know what's going on. Your thought? I mean, the thing is feeling more and more like the Shinsuke Nakamura U.S. title run, where he did nothing with it. He wasn't on TV. What are they doing? Finn is money. We all know this. They give him the title, and then they keep him off the first pay-per-view after the title. This just doesn't make any sense. Your thoughts? Too sweet? Hearty handshake.
Thank you, Richard Morris.
Thank you, Richard Morris.
So, what's
Finn,
up with Finn?
He's going to be fine.
He'll be fine.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He won that belt, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Wasn't that long ago.
He had a really strong Moment of Bliss segment where Alexa Bliss was trying to smash, and then Lio Rush comes out, and they have a really fun little match. Bobby Lashley still talking about him. He mentioned that this past week on
and
Raw.
If not for the Shield reunion, we might very well have gotten Finn Lashley, Finn Lio Rush, some combination thereof at Fastlane itself. But it'll probably happen at Mania.
We will most certainly get that at Mania. It might be a kickoff show match, though.
Hope not.
Remember when we went, the kickoff show, one of the kickoff show matches was Dean Barron?
Versus Barron, yeah.
With the IC title?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
a match is a match.
Yeah.
That'll happen at Mania. People love Finn Balor. One person in particular who loves Finn Balor, guy in the crowd this past week when Roman Reigns said, "Hey, Seth Rollins, one man's been holding it down here on Monday Night Raw." One guy in the crowd said, "Yeah, Finn Balor." I wonder where Finn Balor was at that point.
Finn did his part, has done his part.
That was probably him in the crowd.
Finn's going to be fine. People love him. He's still over. He's still putting on good matches.
Oh, man, yeah.
He's still involved in some sort of feud with Lio Rush and or Bob Lashley. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll have a match at Mania for the Intercontinental title. I don't think there's anything to worry about.
He'll probably keep it and just keep it on.
Yep.
He's great. I really wish it would be Finn Ricochet at Mania, though.
Oh, I think that'd be great.
Oh, that'd be great.
Speaking of Ricochet, Zach S. has a question about the most recent NXT call-ups. Let's see what he has to say.
What's good, Stephen Larson, many friendos out there? It is your Mad Chat Hall of Famer, Zach S. coming at you with another Mad Chat question. Question this week is Stephen Larson. We sort of know the pool of who's going to be most likely called up post-Mania. You know, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, Ricochet. Those are the four top main guys. But the question this week regarding those four in particular is, if you were to put your money on not who should be called up, but who is most likely going to be called up, and you had to pick one that you would say for sure is going to be called up out of those four, who would it be and why? Thanks, boys.
Thank you, Zach S.
Thank you, Zach S. Ricochet. Got a good pop on Raw this past week.
I thought I thought you were going with Aleister Black on this one.
I'm picking Ricochet, man. Got a good pop on Raw when they said one and only during his theme. There's a good portion of the audience there live in attendance at Raw that said it along with it.
His theme song still reminds me of the original NXT theme song, though.
Yeah, a little bit. But, man, his entrance is great with all the lasers and the
fog.
It's beautiful. Oh, it's fantastic.
It's great. He fits right in. He's a big star.
And more than just that, well, I think that is evidence that the reception he's got so far is evidence that he's going to be a huge star in Maine.
Big star.
Because he can comport himself well on the mic. I mean, just that one on Raw with him and Aleister Black at gorilla position with Vince Price sitting right there, he did fine.
He's a guy who could be in that fatal four-way that we booked ourselves for NXT for a takeover.
Yeah, definitely. But for no other reason, he's going to be over immensely because of his. Yes, he can't. Well, maybe not. He's going to be over immensely because he's spectacular in the ring. He does these impressive athletic feats that seem like they should be impossible, yet he pulls them off with ease. He will be over just based on his in-ring work alone. If he can be a decent mic guy and just be a decent storyteller in the ring, he's going to be over huge. But I know he's a spectacular storyteller, and he's really good on the mic.
I see Ricochet in the same light as Finn Balor. I think that there are similarities there, and I think that the same way Finn Balor's ceiling is basically unlimited. I know that they have limited his ceiling, but I still think that at any moment they could pull the trigger on a big Finn Balor thing, and I think they probably will at some point. I think Ricochet is the same way. However, I'm going to go with the surefire bet of Aleister Black, simply because he's already been NXT champion. He has a look that is unique. His moveset is fantastic. The people marvel when he does the moonsault stuff or the flippy flip stuff off the ropes. I think he looks like $1 million. He's got mystique. He's got gravitas. His promos really just feel like they're deep and cool and stuff. He also talks like a different language, is really cool. And he's got he's a hot couple with Zelina Vega. So I think he's got the whole world in his hands. Give me Aleister Black, surefire bet, but there's not a bad answer.
Not a wrong
man.
answer here.
Yeah.
Next, Xena64. Take it away.
Salutations, friendos. So I just got done watching Wrestling with Shadows for the first time, and it just got me thinking, did Bret Hart take himself way too serious? Because it just felt like he didn't want to drop the title, even though Shawn Michaels was rising up. He didn't want to turn heel, even though it was best for business. And CM Punk held the world title for a whole year, and he didn't want to drop it. He still didn't feel like he was respected. So my question is, do guys like Bret Hart and CM Punk, have they taken their personas way too serious? Did they take it way too serious? And how serious should a wrestler take their character?
Thank you, Xena64.
Thank you, Zenith64. I'll go first.
Does Bret Hart take himself too seriously?
You know Meltzer's answer on this?
What?
All of the greats took themselves too seriously. If you think about Stone Cold, I know he was all hepped up on energy drinks and he was like burnt out. But the fact that he would, put the limit on, no, I'm not going to job to Brock Lesnar here on Raw, that could be considered taking yourself too seriously.
But let me ask you this.
These days he doesn't.
No, exactly. But does Bret these days? Yes.
Yeah, because you know what, man? He got screwed in this industry. He has every right, number one, to consider him. Could you imagine Vince dicking him around back then around 1993? Oh, we have to get away from this, the look of a steroid guy. So, and you're, super over in Europe, and look at your body, and it's not, and you're a great technical wrestler. We're going to give you the world. Okay, cool, awesome, Vince. Thanks for the boost of confidence. What? Hulk Hogan's going to take that title after I have to lose Yokozuna? That sucks. And then 4 years later, Montreal Screwjob, embarrassed.
Well, it's kind of because Bret took himself too seriously.
It's like somebody made him get into a really, really cold pool and then trotted him out there naked.
See, here's the thing.
After his dingus, let me finish, shrunk up, and he looked like a fool with the shriveled up penis in front of everybody at WrestleMania there at Trump Plaza. It is terrible. They made him look like a fool at both WrestleMania 9 and Montreal Screwjob.
Well, 9 was at Caesar's Palace, not Trump Plaza.
The same place. Still in Vegas.
Here's the thing. Like the WrestleMania 9 stuff, I have some sympathy for Bret because that's not his own doing. He still took himself way too seriously back then. You can be serious about your profession and take your work seriously without taking yourself seriously. And I feel like he just takes himself seriously across all facets of life.
Look at who he had to deal with. And then Shawn Michaels, who was a number one jerk.
Oh, yeah.
And his buddies running the place. That's terrible. That poor guy.
About the Montreal Screwjob, I don't necessarily agree with Vince's premise that Bret screwed Bret, but Bret is not entirely faultless. If you're on your way out, drop the title. There's a way to do it in Canada so you can save face.
What? He has to eat his pride now?
He's a professional
make himself
wrestler.
Look like an asshole.
It's not real
in Canada.
Fighting. It's not real
give
fighting.
Me a break.
There's
That's
a real
terrible.
Easy way out of this
You would
scenario.
be assassinating his character.
No, you would not.
In front of everybody.
No, you would not.
Give me a break with
Here's
that.
the situation. You have Triple H out there. Ref bump, pedigree, super kick, 1, 2, 3. HBK cheats to win in Canada. Guess who's going to get all the face heat in that scenario?
The
Bret Hart.
The place that you built, that you kept together after Hogan left and Macho Man left, after everybody left, the place that you helped keep together. And then Vince pushes Diesel, guy who has 5 moves for a year. He has the title.
Great head of hair, though.
And he was cool.
And a ton of something that Bret was a little bit lacking, and that was charisma.
He was so cool, too.
Yeah, but he was a crap wrestler.
But you push him for a year? Give me a break.
Well, Brett could have.
You have me co-win the Royal Rumble with Lex Luger?
You know
That
what Brett
guy's
could have done then?
terrible.
Took his talents to Atlanta. Go to
Yeah,
WCW
well,
at
he
some point.
was probably regretting that. But wow, imagine having some loyalty for somebody.
Brett took himself way too seriously. Still takes himself way too seriously.
He's been through a lot.
He has been through a lot.
I see. Here's the thing. I'm not sure if he takes himself too seriously. I just think he's been through so much. You're not going to get a guy with a smile. You're not going to have a guy with a smile.
At a certain point in life, you got to think, well, am I going to sit here and be bitter the rest of my existence, or am I going to find things to laugh at?
He probably laughs plenty in his living room.
Like, there might be a modest chuckle.
No, man.
Do you think there's full-blown guffaws ever from Bret Hart?
He Billy laughs.
Mirthless.
When he watches, what's a good Canadian comedy? Some Seconds. No, that's Canadian.
Yeah,
Second
SCTV.
City. Kids. He watches Kids in the Hall. Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
They're funny.
That was a good show.
Oh, they're real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love me some Rick Moranis. Dave Thomas.
There you go. See? Yes, absolutely not. As far as CM Punk, yeah, he took it way too seriously.
Yeah, he
That
took
dude-
himself too
he
seriously
took
at
himself
times.
so seriously. He thought that shit was serious. He can go to the UFC. Got clubbered.
Yeah, he got worked. And
He-
then Mickey Gall got worked the last fight. Man, he
Clobbered.
got worked.
Clobbered.
Worked.
You're right, man. Brett was so serious.
He took himself way too
He needs
seriously.
to tranquilo.
Yeah, he just needs to learn to laugh at himself a little bit. It's
but
okay to laugh at oneself.
He got embarrassed. Embarrassed in front of everybody.
Well, he should
and
have
then he
done
has to
business,
go to
man.
that dog and pony show, WCW.
Again, I don't understand the idea of his character being assassinated if HBK has to cheat to win the title from his Survivor Series. It puts Brett over huge as a babyface in
No,
his
man,
home
because
country.
here's the thing. You're sitting there and that dude got over on you by being a snivelly weasel guy, and then you don't even have an opportunity to get your comeuppance?
Yeah, because he signed a huge contract with another company. I don't feel bad for him for that.
Oh, terrible. He was only making like $3 million a year.
Oh, poor Brett. Poor Brett. Oh, gosh, Brett, I feel so bad for you. You're only making $3 million a year. Oh, man, you have it so hard.
He does. Poor guy. Yeah, Brett took himself way too seriously.
Yeah.
Next up, another guy who takes himself way too seriously. Wait, look. Why is Wayne Maker just lurking in the shadows? He's all silhouetted. Like, what is he, in the Witness Protection Agency?
I don't know.
Let's take a look at Wayne Maker.
I don't know.
Hello, and I'm back. Waymaker here in the House of Wayne, and I'm coming to you with a Matt Chat question. And it's not really a question. And by the way, so yes, I'm wearing a wrestling hat. I know you don't approve, but whatever, mug. Now, it's not really a question, it's more of a conundrum. Now, everyone always talks about the dream matches. If this person was of this era that came against this person, it'd be money. But I want to talk about rubbish matches, as in like proper pants matches. For me, it would be the Giant Gonzalez versus the Great Khali in a 60-minute Iron Man match. No one wants to see that. So I put it to you guys that you come up with the worst pairing of wrestlers in the worst match possible with whatever stipulation that you like. And by the way, Steve, it was Arsenal 1, Tottenham 1, so we kind of drew. It's North London Derby rubbish. But anyway, you're a Watford fan, mug.
Thank you, Wayne Maker. This is what I want to see.
I want to see Wayne Maker. I can't see him. Put on some lights, man.
Next time, do it in your van.
But yeah.
Like a Phil Collins video.
At least you have that like overhead light there.
This is what I want to see. Sid, my favorite terrible wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
Versus
gosh,
Giant Gonzalez.
Oh, man.
Who is a truly terrible wrestler.
It'd be terrible.
In a steel cage match. And the only way you can win is climb over the top of the cage.
Oh, God. Oh, that'd be terrible. What if any of them like falls from more than like 2 feet up?
Mm-hmm. It's a possibility of that.
That'd be terrible.
It would not be a good match. It'd be a horrible, horrible match.
Here's a horrifying match. Low key. Known for working pretty stiff.
Yeah, at times.
Working pretty stiff, shooting on some people maybe, versus Haruka. Who is Haruka, you ask? Do you remember when Kenny Omega wrestled a 10-year-old child? It is that Haruka's the 10-year-old child. So low key. Oh, vicious, violent. Shoots on people. Little child. Little girl. Oh, terrible. In a last man standing match. Oh,
Horrible
who wants
idea.
to see that?
Horrible idea.
That sounds just horrifying. Why would you ever
What
watch
about
that?
low key versus the inflatable doll?
Oh, well, that'd be like 2 seconds. He'd just be like, he'd like eat into it. He'd
Yeah,
like
just do
bite
one
into
stomp
it.
and
Exactly.
Explode.
Yeah, that'd be a squash. But, oh, this would be terrible.
That would be terrible.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see it either. Next, Cult of False Realities. See what he has to say.
What's going on, Steven Larson? Cult of False Realities here, back with another match chat question. And my question has to do with special matchups. Preferably matchups that we haven't seen before, or hopefully that do happen. Now, we all want to see Matt Riddle against Brock Lesnar and different stuff like that. But what about people that we haven't seen that are outside of WWE? And no, I don't mean Bullet Club and Kenny Omega and whoever else that we all really are dying to see. But my question is, who are some other people outside of the same people we always talk about that should face some people from main roster, NXT, or wherever? Me personally, I want to see Eva Lee's face Mia Yim because they somewhat have the same style, or Exolicious versus Naomi because they kind of have the same style too. But pick, I say 5 matchups. Too Sweet, Hearty Handshake. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Cult of False Realities.
Thank you, Cult of False
What do you
Realities.
want to see, Steve?
Let's see. Oh, so this guy in the Indies, low key, mentioned him in the previous question. Very stiff, shoot style wrestler. Have him after he's done with Haruka, have him take on Walter.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. Oh my gosh, could you imagine a couple of
stiff versus stiff,
couple of hamburger chests coming
man.
out of this?
Yeah.
Just beating up on each other. I want to see him try to take out Walter's shoot style. I don't know if he'd be able to do it.
Yeah, no, Walter's huge.
He's a big dude.
Speaking of big dudes, give me Cal Jack.
Oh, the man.
Local NorCal competitor.
Oh, man.
He's excellent.
The
yes.
Grizzly.
The Grizzly Cal Jack. He's awesome. Taking on the Beast, Brock Lesnar.
Ooh.
Cal Jack goes over in a squash.
Wow, really? Interesting. Good
Yeah.
booking right there.
Yeah,
I like
totally
that.
good booking.
I like that. Let's see here. You know what else I like? Loki from the Freak Legion. Let's see. This is a great question here.
Hello, Stephen Larson. Loki Richard here with this week's match chat question. Nemo was playing Resident Evil 2 today, and she turns to me and asks me what is now this week's question. Is the Undertaker a zombie? Have fun with the debate. See you soon.
Thank you, Loki.
Thank you, Loki.
No, he's not a zombie.
Yeah, he's a zombie. Clearly, he's a zombie. He's dead, and yet he's walking around.
Here's the thing.
He's the dead man.
I remember, I think it was on the Pritchard podcast. The one I started listening to the one where they were doing Undertaker 2004, 2005 when he was making the transition from American Badass back to Dead Man.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like kayfabe or storyline wise. He had to have been a zombie at that point because he died, and then he came back. Maybe originally it was just vocational. He was a actual Undertaker.
I actually feel like previously it'd be more in line with him being. See, here's the thing: if he was a zombie, he didn't follow any of the typical zombie tropes, though.
Well, the biggest one is you're dead and you're walking around. That's the biggest one. The rest is dependent on the writer of the material, what kind of liberties they want to take. Sometimes they walk, sometimes they run.
But there's no decaying of flesh. He kept his.
He looks pretty decayed.
Well, he looks old.
He looks pretty decayed.
He looks
at this
old.
point.
But I don't know.
Like Kane's the same age. He looks way different.
It's not. Is there something that's between zombie? I feel like his character, Dead Man Undertaker, exists in some zone between zombie, an undead being, and actually being alive.
Well, he could be this.
Is there something in between that?
Or he could be above it. He could be king of the zombies. Because he does have the supernatural element. He does come off as kind of a ruler of some sort of kingdom.
Yes.
Some sort of Stygian-esque kingdom.
Yeah, there seems to be like, it's not just he's a member of the undead. There's a supernatural element to his character that isn't typical with a zombie.
Yeah.
And the fact that he could flip between undead character and biker, then back to undead character.
He can't flip. He hasn't flipped. He went from vocational Undertaker to bike enthusiast.
No, even back
then
to
he
died.
died.
At the very beginning, yes, he was a vocation when he first came out. But then one of his missions was trying to convince people that he was actually dead as the character, and that's why he no-sold stuff. That was part of his character. Then he went to American Badass, and then when he went back
Explain that last part. Where'd you hear that from? Did he say that?
I think it was on the Pritchard podcast.
Yeah.
Like one of his things he was trying to do was, I need to actually convince people. Or was it on, no, it was on the pasture. Was either Pritchard or the interview with that pasture? One of the two.
All right.
And then he flipped the switch to American Badass.
All right.
Biker.
Yeah.
And then lost the Buried Alive match. Came back as Dead Man. At first, it was OG Undertaker kind of style. But then, as Pritchard said, they started to evolve the character to work in some aspects of American Badass. So now he's kind of like an amalgam of American Badass with Dead Man Undertaker.
Yeah. I think the bottom line is this.
He's not a zombie, though.
We've seen him die.
He's something else entirely.
We have seen him die. He was buried alive, and clearly in storyline, he died in 2000 and whatever.
Let me ask you this.
And then he came back. That is a zombie. Yes, he is now a zombie.
Let me ask you this. So...
Before
typically, in today's zombie fiction, a zombie is a reanimated corpse, I guess a reanimated corpse, and they're usually reanimated via some sort of whether it be a infection of some sort or some sort of outside stimulus that might have some biological basis.
Yeah.
Typically, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And it's usually, you're getting bit by a zombie, you will in turn turn to a zombie at some point. Is there a term, and it might go back to the original ideas of zombies, where you're reanimated not based on some sort of biological agent, but instead some sort of supernatural phenomena? Is that still a zombie?
Well, that would fall in line with like the Army of the Dead.
And that's kind of up in the air whether that's actually a zombie thing, right?
Maybe, although I think it's general. I think nerd consensus is
it follows a lot of the tropes, even if by the letter of zombie.
Let's look at
law.
the Army of the Dead Wikipedia here.
I remember we did top 10 zombie movies and put Army of the Dead in that.
Yeah, okay.
People were like, Army of the Dead, or sorry, Army of Darkness. We put it in there.
Well, Army of Darkness.
That's not a zombie movie.
Army of Darkness. If I see the word zombie in here, then it totally is a zombie movie. Let's see here. Well, so the only entry in here that says zombies is there was a comic book called Marvel Zombies versus the Army of Darkness. So I think they have a lot of the same qualities as zombies and that they're undead.
But may not be in typical sense a zombie. I don't think Undertaker's a zombie. Next, Patrick Sparks.
Hey, friendos, Pat here. So this is a gaming-related question, in a sense. I'm building a PC here within the next couple of weeks. I already got the parts, just gotta wait for a few more. But Up, Down, Down, Xavier Woods, great channel, whatnot. He always goes back and plays old school games, and it's pretty fun to watch and just listen to the conversations he has with other wrestlers and whatnot. So, if you are on an episode of Up, Down, Down with Xavier Woods, if you could play any game from your childhood that wasn't NWO versus WCW World Tour or any other games like that, what would it be and why? Thanks for those. Bye.
Thank you, B-Man.
Thank you, B-Man.
Star Wars arcade. The original Star Wars arcade cabinet from, I guess, the 80s, early 80s, whatever it was. I used to love that game growing up. So
Can you do two-player on that?
No, you'd have to have like a challenge where one person would play, see how far they can get back and forth like that.
Yeah. That's cool. Mine would be, I would say, Mr. Woods, Austin Creed. Can you please see how far you can get in The Adventures of Bayou Billy? Because that game was super tough.
Yeah, it was hard.
And I even Lacey got me one of those retro consoles for Christmas, and I got Bayou Billy, and it's still really tough. But then to have fun, I would play Blades of Steel.
Yeah.
We should play some Blades of
That'd
Steel.
be fun.
That game's hella fun.
Yeah, that was fun. I used to like the Nintendo hockey.
Okay, yeah.
That was fun too.
Yeah.
Didn't have fighting in it. Another one I want to do is NHL 95.
Oh, yeah, you love that game.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
You'd injure people in it if you hit them too hard.
That's good stuff.
Next, AO Worm.
Oh, what's up, friendos? Hey, real quick, Steven Larson. If you guys were to actually start Friendo Unified Championship, like a rough draft of some quick picks of who from the Friendoverse you would have as staff and as talent. Like, I know you guys would probably be Vince and Triple H respectively of the company, but who would be your head of talent relationships, creative, you guys have for the guy inside gorilla position, your camera guys, your ring crew, and some of the talents. Let me know what you guys think. Take it easy. Too sweet. Hearty handshake.
Thank you, AO Worm.
Thank you, AO Worm.
What do you got, Steve?
Oh, I was just looking at yours.
Oh, okay. Well, you can add in. First, Stevie Bradley, locker room enforcer.
So this is so we have a promotion.
Yeah, and we have to fill backstage roles.
Okay.
As well as, I guess, in terms of wrestlers as well.
All right.
So I have Stevie Bradley. He can be wrestler, but he can also be like locker room enforcer.
Yeah. Zach Stolpa, backstage interviewer.
Good. I have AO Worm and Mikey Omega as heads of talent relations.
Tim Spulak, head of guy who gets on the roof of the venue and fixes stuff. Or
He could
does
be your interviewer, on-camera
do
interviewer.
cable? Well, I just said that for Zach Stolpa.
Well, you can have more than one. Oh, Tim could be a ring announcer.
There you go. Oh, yeah. He
There you
looks
go.
like a ring announcer.
Yeah. Thayer Thabata, head of production.
Okay, that's good.
Joshua Martinez.
Oh.
Chief camera
Oh,
operator.
man.
Or director.
We'll have the best looking
Director.
stuff. Yeah.
Director. A technical director. Yeah. Cody Miles, head of social media.
That's good.
Chris John. The COO of our Hall of Fame.
There you go.
What else do you got?
That's all good. We need who's doing commentary.
I don't know. I gave up all these examples. What do you got?
I'm gonna say Graham Too Sweet Me.
All right.
Is on commentary because he has a very delicate Irish voice.
That's
and
good.
It's very soothing.
Oh, what about Loki?
Well,
he can do commentary like Excalibur in the mask.
There you go.
We got to have Wayne Maker on there too.
Oh, Wayne Maker runs a concession stand.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, you wanker, you want some merch? Yeah, it is a merch stand.
There you go.
What do you want? We don't have it. Go away. Wayne Maker, how much do you make today? 10 bob.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
wow.
That's good.
Is there any role for Patrick Sparks that we can have for him that deals with conspiracies?
Head writer.
There you go.
Yeah, head writer.
We got one last question from Devin the Dude.
Let's see what he has to say.
Over the last couple months, kind of seen Becky's organic rise to the top kind of be, I don't want to say Zack Rydered, but it kind of feels like it, where they've been focusing more on trying to get Charlotte over as a heel, trying to get Ronda cheered, and kind of keeping Becky out of the loop, that it's hurt a lot of her momentum. And right now, a lot of people, I feel like, and I'm seeing on Twitter too, are very confused and about the storyline and how convoluted it's become. Kind of want to get your take on what do you think has really hurt a lot more of her momentum, and is it the convoluted storyline, or has it been the things they've done to kind of turn her from this badass Stone Cold type character to kind of the underdog, whether it be tapping out to Asuka, allowing Charlotte to talk over and make fun of her, having her hobble out for literally the last 4 weeks, and not really getting too physical outside of on a pay-per-view randomly. I want to get your thoughts. I know it's a little pessimistic, but I mean, right now it feels like we're in Empire Strikes Back territory where the good guy gets so much heat on them, and I'm waiting for Return of the Jedi, and I'm hoping these last 4 weeks before WrestleMania is trying to rebuild Becky's momentum back up.
Thank you, Devin the Dude.
Thank you, Devin the Dude.
So I read something today. Today's Wednesday. I think it was Meltzer that said that one of the reasons they made the main event, or probably the would-be main event at Mania, a triple threat, was to protect themselves in case of injury. So should one of the three principals get injured, they have a ready-made singles match. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of the reasons they're keeping Becky kind of on the sidelines and out of action for the most part is because they don't want her to get hurt.
It's to make sure she makes the match.
Yes, to make sure that she makes it the match. The downside of that, she can't get as physically involved as she would prior, and people just like to see her beat people up.
Yeah.
And hopefully, my hope is since we don't get to see it that much, when we do see it, people are going to pop huge for it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it has that kind of slow burn as well. How like there's like there's a lot of simmering, there's a lot of tension, and then like it'll
explode.
It'll explode.
It's like there will be blood.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that at Raw. You got a little bit of that at SmackDown. We're probably gonna have a little bit of that in the next couple episodes leading up to Mania.
Well, we'll have a little bit of at Fastlane. I think there'll be a little bit of release at Fastlane, but I think think of it like two tectonic plates rubbing against each other. And there might be little quakes, but eventually there's going to be the big one,
big quake,
and they're saving the big one for Mania.
I think all this right here, you're right. We're not seeing we're seeing Ronda in matches. We're not seeing Becky in matches.
We aren't seeing Charlotte in any matches, really.
Right. So we're going to get this one at Fastlane. That'll probably end in a scrub, which will just want people to see. It'll make them want to see this more. I think the bottom line is by the time we get to Mania, when you see all three of them in the ring, it's going to feel like a big, big moment.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's, I think, what they're going to get.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Yeah, I mean, they've
People are so impatient, though.
Altered path with Becky a little bit. Instead of just making her a pure ass kicker, they kind of, like last night on SmackDown when she came into the ring for the promo, she said something like, it feels good to be back or something like that.
Yeah.
6 months ago, she wouldn't have said that. There's a little tweak to her character. They're kind of just making her a tweener as opposed to, like a heel everybody loves.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But no, I don't think there's anything to worry about. By the time Mania happens, it'll feel like it should be the main event because it should be the main event.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. I think people are just impatient.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Anyways, that's it for Matt Chat. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.